Welcome to the Wolfkeeper, a show that's just about everything that you can maybe think about, everything that you can feel that's inside of your heart. What I need for you to do right now is spend the next hour relaxing. Just stop your day before you go into 12 o'clock. And I just want y'all to close your minds, open your hearts, and relax and go on this journey with me. It's a beautiful place that you're about to go, because I want to make you feel, I want to just open you up and think about some things you never really thought about. Right now, the Wolfkeeper. Come on. Good morning, y'all. Come on. It's the Wolfkeeper show. Get ready. Come on, let's go. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. It's the Wolfkeeper show. Your boy Toriano Sanzoni. Yeah. Chinelle. My boy Tyrone Scott somewhere rocking the Doogie Dogs. Denzel's in his house. Shack. And for all the people out there that love us, we love you back. Thank you all. Get ready for an amazing show with the Wolfkeeper. Get ready. Here we go. Chinelle, what's going down?
What's going down?
I'm solo Fadolo today. Well, not really. You're here. I appreciate that.
Wait, what?
I said I'm solo Fadolo, but then I corrected myself by saying, no, you are here. So I'm not solo Fadolo. You are here.
All right. You always just count me out. I'm used to it.
Oh.
I'm glad my backbone is strong.
Backbone strong, built to last. No, you know what I mean. There's no the guest.
Yeah.
Today, it's you and I, one-on-one.
I should be nervous.
No, not at all. You should be pumped up. So I want to thank everybody out there for making this awesome, rocking. We did a tally today. We're like on episode 53. So shout out Chinelle, thank you so much for all your work. Thank you for Greg Richards for motivating me to do this. Peace out to Rejoice and the team, the back end team, Tyrone Scott, Denzel, the whole family, everyone that makes this possible, for real. But we got some good stuff that's about to go on in the future. I mean, next year we're gonna do 365 shows, Chinelle. What's something about that?
365 days in the year.
By December 31st, 2021, we're gonna have about close to over 400 podcasts.
No days off, huh?
No days off. Not gonna see the
That's
sun
right.
for like 365 days. That's how we going to 2021 straight. Chilling them. What's up? How everybody feeling out there? Your boy Toriano Sanzoni rocking today with my podcast. I'm rocking my Dendera shirt. Peace out to everyone that applied for their cannabis. This is my cannabis company, Dendera. I'm rocking that shirt, and I got my Dendera mask on. Wolfkeeper University and everyone out there. Thank you for the much love.
I need one of those shirts.
Got you. Today I just want to talk just in general, just about being an entrepreneur, because now is the time. Now, I love motivating. I love that we've had all these entrepreneurs coming onto our show. So it just kind of feels refreshing that I get to talk for 45 minutes one-on-one. It's going to have a guest today. So it'll be you and I engaging, Chinelle now.
Oh gosh, I think I'm nervous. You told me I shouldn't be, but I'm nervous.
Now, didn't you hear what Ulf said yesterday? He's never nervous. And I asked him, is he nervous about that?
Just anxious, right?
Just anxious. Man, don't be anxious and nervous about nothing. No, I mean, I really want people, now is a great time to reboot and start a new business and do something. Back in 2000, the music industry crashed because Napster. Are you old enough to remember Napster? Do you remember Napster?
Napster, mm-hmm.
So Napster.
Yeah, if I was in college making CDs.
Yeah. So Napster. Oh, you were part of that?
Yeah, I mean that's how it was a big thing on campus. You getting free music. I wasn't making them, but people would be selling them.
You were part of it.
I wasn't.
You helped me lose my job.
Selling them.
You helped me lose my job.
It was like some I'm a music head, so like if my favorite artist was coming out with some music, and my neighbor next door would have the CDs for $5 opposed to going to Walmart for 10. That's what I was doing.
So you helped me lose my job.
No, not like that. I was just trying to survive as a college student and be entertained and get my $5 CD.
Well, thanks to you college students, the industry collapsed. No.
You know how hard life is on a campus.
It's the industry crashed. No, it wasn't just because they didn't see it coming. Much like how right now a lot of people didn't see 2020 coming. You know what I mean? But I did. I was talking about this in 2016 because it looked reminiscent of 2008, which looked reminiscent of the music industry crash in 2000. So for some of us that were really paying attention, this really is the third crash and probably the most intense crash. But I look at it as like a great time to reboot Chinelle now. I do
too. And I'm excited to see, once we get a consistent flow of how things are going to normalize, what's going to be the new normal. You know what I'm saying? Because, everybody has really had the chance to kind of reboot, refresh, soul search, be creative, in ways that's life changing. So, I don't think I like all of this technology though. I don't like it.
You can't fight the tech, girl. I
know it's just way too much. Like, give me a book with some pages. I don't like e-reading. It's too much for the eyes.
Well, it's part of the new normal. Like in every category. How you banking,
But life was so much more simpler when you just had.
It's over, mama. That's done. Dunzo.
I know.
Benissimo. You gotta come in.
I'm like the old lady that's like, keep things the way that they used to be.
Well, and to that point, a lot of people are going to do that. You know what I mean? And then they're not going to get caught up because once it's settled, once we settle into and get used to, what protest is happening this week. That's part of the new fabric of our culture. Wearing masks. How we bank. Once it settles and everything feels normal, once the new normal is settled, I'm predicting that's going to take 4 years.
So you think like all of the protesting and everything it's not a season for it?
Yeah. That's the new thing. That'll be happening indefinitely.
I
Well,
hope not.
well, it will for sure. Why do you say you hope? Why you hope not?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, because you know that's the norm for a lot of countries.
Yeah, I mean, it all still kind of goes back to being like not so good energy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we're protesting for something. You know, whether it's a death, somebody, you know, equality. Like it's always.
Well, there should be protests. I mean, did you see the video of the black man that was shot 5 times in the back? Like the cop.
No, I don't watch those.
The cop literally pulled him by his shirt and shot him 5 times in the back. I mean,
yeah,
so there has to be protest. There has to be change. Change is good. That's the only thing you can bank on is that change is going to happen. But I would say anyone that's out there that is aspiring to be an entrepreneur, learn as much as possible right now. I mean, learn, read, learn about tech, learn about graphic design, learn all these apps. You know, like some of these motivational speakers want to be soft and friendly to you and say, just pick one and pick 4. I'm saying if it's an app, learn it. Learn as many, 50, 80, 90. Learn as many apps as possible because the more that you're able to understand that technology, then the easier you're going to be able to navigate, and you might end up getting a job in it. You just never know. And I always say technology is our last chance for an unfair advantage. So mamas and daddies, encourage your little brown babies, your black and brown babies, and especially black and brown little girls, learn how to program. That is guaranteed money. That's the future, understanding how to program. I don't like is anyone feeling struggling or hopeless or that they can't do something. Now, everyone pretty much has. There are very few people even around the world that don't have access to the internet. You know, so in America, you have no excuse not to jump on YouTube and just research anything that you might find that you might like.
Yeah.
You know, a new skill set or develop something. You know, it's like, for example, me, like with my cannabis company, Dendera, like going through that application process was freaking nuts. It was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. You know, like I wish that I had studied in college the way that it took to fill out this application. It was 200 some pages. It basically was 26 applications inside of one application. And then I did 2 of those applications. So I
levels. It's almost like once you feel like you're finish one thing, it's always something else that comes back.
Yeah, and it was more than just doing the application. It taught me a lot. Making research things. I learned a whole bunch of different things about a brand new industry that carried over to my industry that I do, carried over to the dog industry, and made me smarter, stronger, faster, bigger. You know, so a lot of times people say, Torian, it's like you're doing a lot of stuff. It's not that I'm even doing a lot of stuff. I truly love business. I truly love learning, you know, so whether it's dog training, you know, running my marketing company, SS Consulting, whether it's my cannabis company, Dendera, Canalicious, you know, I probably have, 15 websites that I manage. And it's just constant. I look at it going to like the business gym. I'm constantly always working out. So if something isn't going my way, I can always jump over to another ship, which that's going to be really the future. I would say, for people not to be stagnant in toy.
What's that?
To not be stagnant and just only doing one thing nowadays. You can't. Those days.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's my phone. Those days.
Good morning, Chinelle. Good morning, Tammy.
Hi, Tammy.
Tammy, what's up?
Oh, I thought I'd just chime in since you don't have a guest and I can't get in touch with you otherwise. But I just wanted to make a point about the protesting when you said that that's pretty much the way of the world. And when Chinelle said she didn't like it. I think I'm going to try to paraphrase what she's talking about, because I don't think that for a lot of people it's so much that the protesting bothers them. It's the way a lot of people are going about the protesting, just like with that black guy that you're referring to. And by the way, it was 7 times in the back, not 5. Literally, he shot him 7 times. But the rioting that was going on afterwards and the destruction of, places that really don't send the same message that people are really trying to get out there. Because when you do, and I know there's this whole, thought, with no justice, no peace, but it doesn't mean that you have to just get attention by being destructive. And I know that's the mentality that a lot of people have, is that, well, the only way they're going to pay attention is if we're destructive. Well, obviously that's not working, because we've already had 2 rounds of looting, and you see this incident just happened yesterday. So the way a lot of people feel like they need to go about this is really not the right way, because it's.
But who are you to say that it's not the right way? I mean, that it's not working.
Well, because it's that I equate that to saying a person who might be, if you take a white person who might be prejudiced against black people, and then they walk out and decide, okay, I'm prejudiced against black people, so every black person I see, I'm going to shoot. Like, so you're going to take innocent lives because you have a certain feeling about something. Or with anything. I mean, that's how a whole lot of issues come about, because a person that's what the Holocaust.
But the United States of America during W days, or I like to call him Killer G, when Killer G had him and Cheney put a doctrine in place called the Bush Doctrine, fitting to name after themselves, that if any country even kind of thinks about or doing anything to show any kind of aggression towards the United States of America, we can initiate war. I mean, the United States of America initiates war on a global level every day. That's why we have so many troops deployed, and why 20-25 veterans every day come back here and committed suicide. So now you're talking about domestic war. So who's to say, for whatever group of people and however they get organized, a right? I don't think it's about a right or wrong, or that there's another way to do it.
Yeah, it is always about a right or wrong, because there can be a right or wrong way to do something. I'm not saying that you can't still have that movement without going about it in the wrong way, though, because.
So you're saying, but you're saying you don't believe in war, then?
I don't believe in unnecessary war.
But that's a huge. That's a loaded statement, though, to say that unnecessary war. Who decides which war is necessary?
What do you mean? No. Okay. If we go back to the war thing, that would be equivalent. Even when we have war, there's still some guidelines that are supposed to be in place. Like, bombs aren't just thrown or dropped down on civilian life. Like, there is still supposed to be some sort of
but there's not
honor system in place.
There's not though.
Sometimes it isn't, but I'm saying the point that
I'm saying
even in war there is supposed to be.
But most of the time,
it's not like.
But most of the time, there's not though. Period.
Okay, and that doesn't make it right though. That's the point that I'm making. I know that there are times that it's not right.
Right, but I'm saying
that doesn't make it right, because there are times that happens.
So let's bring peace to it. I don't think so. Even with war, I don't. Like, what do we accomplish with war?
Real simple. Real simple.
I
think to me,
That's just like fighting.
Wait, you got to back up, though, Chinelle. You have to back up, though. You have to back up, though. What you accomplish with war when you live in the United States of America is freedom. Period. Freedom is not free at all. It comes with a very high cost. We as Americans can do certain. We have the luxury to go out here and destroy things, and to sit here and have this conversation right now because we are a warmonger country, right? We don't have the issues. This is not a communist state. This is not China. This is not Russia. This is not even Europe, where Americans.
But has the issue been resolved? Because I mean, it's still, we're doing all. I'm anti-violence, anti-war,
and that's how I feel. But I know
it's like if we can't sit down and have a conversation, or if we're killing off people, it's not doing anything but kind of stirring up the pot for me. That's just how I look at it. If someone, I've never in my life, my 37 years, have ever been in a fight. I'm more of a talker. So if we can't talk about what's going on, and you see where I'm coming from, let's kind of meet in the middle ground. And I know that it's way difficult now to do because everybody isn't level-minded to sit down and have a conversation.
It's always been difficult to do. It just depends. It just 100% depends upon where you live. And this time around specifically, everyone will the theories that both of you are saying. You will get a chance to prove that 100%. Like this fall, for example, forget rioting and looting. More than likely, and I pray that it does not happen, but there's a very great chance of home invasion. So if someone is at your door and you're calling 911 and there's no 911 because they're all busy doing something else, right? And someone breaks into your house, you have a decision to make. To initiate a self-war against that person, or you can lay down and give up. One of the two.
And that goes to the point that I was trying to make. There are times when it's the necessary war. Yeah, you're not going to let a country come over and kill everyone in your country, but you don't have to initiate a war, and you don't have to fight, for lack of a better word, unfairly. So it's the same thing like if you have like in my 64 years, I have never been in a physical fight because I don't believe that that's the best way to resolve anything. I don't think that any resolution needs to come to, fighting. But I recognize that everyone else doesn't feel that way. So if someone comes up to me and they start beating on me, I'm not going to stand there and let them beat on me. But at the same time, I am never going to initiate a fight because I don't believe that fighting is the answer. So that goes to the point that I was making when I said a necessary war. Yes, you need to defend yourself, but you don't have to be the initiator of a fight.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, the people that are in charge, right, get to decide what's necessary and what's unnecessary, and in particular with these protests that are popping up, right? That the prevention is better than the cure. We know that if a black man tomorrow or even today is shot 7 times in the back, right, again for the bazillionth time, there is going to be a riot. Period. They know this. It's not like rocket science. It's going to happen. But that goes back to, look, everyone should do the right thing. But people don't do the right thing on the front end because they don't believe in the prevention. So I'm saying, right now where the world is, you're going to see a whole bunch of after effects of things that have not been fixed for decades, for centuries, for 100+ years, and particularly with the police. And that's not going to stop. A portal now has been opened, and that protesting is going to be the fabrics of America. It always.
Okay, but there's a difference between protesting and outright rioting.
Well, Tammy, I'm saying this. I'm biased because I used to live in East Africa, Kenya, and Uganda. I've traveled throughout Nicaragua. I mean, in areas that are war torn. So that's in areas like that. That's everyday life. You never know when it's going to go.
It's not, but that doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it necessary.
Oh, right.
So that's the
but
only
I'm saying
point
this
that
is.
I'm making.
Oh,
I
get what
I'm
you're.
not saying that it doesn't exist. It's obviously it exists. We're going into another riot now because of what. And don't misunderstand what I'm saying. People have a right to be angry over what happened.
Violence of any sort. Violence of any sort is wrong. I mean, it's never the right thing to. But we're all guilty of it because we support violence. If we didn't support violence, we'd be living in Costa Rica where they have no army. Or
I don't support violence. I don't support violence.
You just said if someone tried to attack you, you're going to fight back. But that's not supporting
violence. That's defending yourself. You're not.
Okay.
I'm not going to stand there and let someone beat me to death.
No, there's people out there that
I'm never going to initiate a fight.
Okay, I'm saying there's people out there that aren't going to defend themselves. Period. They're non-violent. They're going to take that beating. They're going to take whatever comes with the violence.
No, how do you know that? What are you saying that based on?
That was Dr. King.
I'm not saying that
was Dr. King's and that was Dr. King's and Gandhi's complete philosophy of life.
No, but you don't know that. No, but that's not the point that I'm making. You don't know that a person is still going to stand there. And I mean, I know Jesus Christ did that.
You don't even have to say Jesus Christ. That was Gandhi's entire. Go back and watch Gandhi the movie. Go back and research on Dr. King. That was their stance.
I have researched him. I mean, you don't have an example with Dr. King because he was assassinated.
I'm saying he got a beat down more times than often. It's not like you.
Well, a lot of civil rights leaders did.
Right. But I'm saying they didn't fight. What I'm saying is that they did not fight back. That's what I'm saying. Some people are going to take that whipping. I mean, it's like even better example. If someone breaks in your house right now, right, you're not supposed to use lethal force against them. You're supposed to call the police, right, and wait for the police to come there, unless that person has initiated lethal force against you.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is that there's some people, if that person comes in their house, they're going to initiate lethal force immediately. Period. They're not going to call the police. They're not doing anything. Right.
Okay, and so I still don't get what your point is then. That still has nothing to do with a person still not advocating for violence.
I'm saying there's some people out there that are completely nonviolent. They're not going to defend themselves, period. That's what I'm saying.
But you can still be nonviolent and still defend yourself. Being nonviolent means you are not initiating violence. You can still be a nonviolent person. And Chinelle, if someone came up to you and started beating the crap out of you, are you going to stand there and let them beat the crap out of you?
I'm going to fight.
Exactly. But do you consider yourself a nonviolent person?
I am all 100% a nonviolent person.
Exactly. So
okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, that you could be a nonviolent person just because you don't initiate. But I'm saying another level.
That's what nonviolence means.
Okay, I get it. What I'm saying is Gandhi. What I'm saying,
so basically, you're just talking about a person who's a martyr.
What I'm saying, Gandhi never fought. Period. He never raised his fist to anyone, and he got beat down, caned, thrown in jail many times. He was non-violent. He didn't show any. He didn't have to be the initiator. Gandhi would not agree with what you're saying. He would say, he would say.
As well.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He would say that complete nonviolence would be not even initiating, even if it was initiated against you.
You can still be a nonviolent person, advocate for nonviolence, and still not stand there and take a beat down.
I get it.
Because that's not what being nonviolent means. You're not initiating violence.
I get it. That's not how this conversation even started. Is that the protest that you see will be part of the new fabric of America, period. Now,
let's hope not, though.
No, it will be. Don't be unrealistic.
You can't. We don't want to predict that. Like, let's hope not. Like, let's hope things get better.
So, that's what you're saying. That is the problem that we're here.
I mean, but if you just, I don't think you should just like, oh, we're going to be protesting. We're going to be doing this.
It's like saying that Corona's going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, just certain. It's understanding.
But at the end of the day, I think the biggest issue with protesting is not the protesting itself. It's what goes along with the protesting.
Tammy, it's like
violence
Tammy. Okay, I get it. Doesn't matter.
and not be violent.
Okay, you can say that, but until you've actually gone to one of these things, which you have not, and until you have talked to some of these people that are organized and doing these, which you have not, you don't. It's easier to say than to. It's easier said than done. That when you're in that, that's like saying that there's going to be some kind of fair war. There's no fair war. Once that person is on that battlefield, you don't know how it's going to go. It can go good. It can go completely wrong. Right. What I'm saying is that the only way that you can maybe have some kind of like non-violent protest or protests that don't have looting is that people like you that believe in non-violence actually were out there doing the work with these kids or going out here and saying, hey, mayor, governor, this is what you all should do before it gets to that point. That most of these politicians and people that are in charge are completely idiots and ignorant to the fact of the prevention. Because and that's what I'm saying to you, Chinelle, is that because there is no prevention, there's nothing in place to keep this from even getting to the point in which you're going to get to. Like for a perfect example, there's no way if I'm Chicago, if I'm in charge of Chicago, I'm in charge of this state, that I would be as laid back as we are. They did have the streets blocked off again, so they were somewhat proactive, but it was a huge assumption that there was not going to be a riot last night. The same way that after George Floyd was murdered on May 25th, people assumed, the cities assumed across this country that nothing was going to happen the following week.
And so what are you saying the solution for that would be to be proactive? What are you saying? That they should just have the National Guard out there already in place before something even happens to be proactive? What would be your answer to being proactive?
Now it's kind of too late anyway. It's too deep in it. I mean,
No, I'm saying before I got too deep in it though. What in general?
Back in March, I would have followed my brothers in Spain, and like as Wolf said yesterday on our show, I would have had a form of martial law back in March. I mean, you would have had to identify one person per household that can be out on the street. You would have to go online, complete this pass. That passing will allow you to be on the street.
Okay, you know how unrealistic that would be.
It's not unrealistic. It's not unrealistic. That's what I'm saying. It's not unrealistic because that's what other countries have done. I'm saying you had to pick your poison. Would that have been difficult to enforce? Of course. Americans don't want to follow the rules now. And that goes from, then you have different states doing all different things. You got the government administration saying one thing, governor saying one thing, mayor saying one thing. I'm saying that's part of the reason why I'm saying this is not going anywhere anytime soon. You're going to see this for a while.
Well, let's just hope that it gets better. Let's hope that we get new officers in place.
Chinelle, that's like saying I hope that racism ends tomorrow. I mean, it's just like America as a whole.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, let me just give you some historic facts that a lot of people.
What's wrong with that? I like to put positive energy out there.
I like to follow history.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
No. I'm saying I like to follow.
And I can tap into the realistic aspect of all of this. However, it's draining.
It's easy to say when you don't look at history, right?
It's draining, though, Toriano.
It's not draining. It's not even politics. It's freaking history. It's like
all of it.
I'm saying on July 27th, 1919, right? Chicago had one of the bloodiest, deadliest riots in the history of America, right here. After Eugene Williams swam on the wrong side of Lake Michigan, because Lake Michigan was a white side and a black side. So a little black boy named Eugene Williams was stoned.
Yeah, we know that history.
Everyone don't know that history. But I guarantee you can't even say that nonchalantly. Many people don't know that at all. They've never even heard of it.
I wasn't speaking in general. I was speaking of those of us who are engaging in this conversation with you right now.
Well, I'm saying here's the importance of that. Here's the importance of that specific riot, right? That specific riot, which went on from the July 27th to August 5th, 1919. And one of the most notorious gangs that were part of that were the Hamburg Boys, which was a young Richard Daley that was part of that. who would go on to be part of one of the next deadliest riots, which were the '68 King riots. So I mean, we're not virgins to we're not virgins to riots. The thing I'm more addressing Chinelle in her concept. Like, I hope that this ends. Is that the thing now? Is that with social media?
But there is nothing wrong with still hoping. I mean, we have still come a long ways, even with racism. I mean, because there would have been a time when there are so many things that African American and anybody of color could not have done 50 years ago. So what she's saying isn't saying that, okay, this is the way it's going to be, but there's nothing.
We won't see it in our life. Listen.
And even with racism, there's going to be a point where
you will not. We will
have to agree to disagree when it comes to racism. Everybody's not going to get it.
We will not see it in our. We will not.
As simple as it is, everyone is not going to get that whole aspect of racism.
We will not see it in our lifetime, nor will our children. You will see it. You will have to undo the generational, systematic racism and trauma that exists, and that is undoing 400 plus years. So they will one day look back at 2020 and many 400 years later, and then they'll be, because people will be all smushed together. There will be people that are mixed with Black American and Asian American that married a Asian American white woman.
Well, that's happening right now.
So I'm saying that will slowly dilute itself out now, which even when you see the people that are protesting, a lot of them aren't even Black Americans. They're everything other. So yes, for sure, it definitely has changed. What I'm going back to my point of, it's not, we won't see it, and it's only going to, this will for sure, I will bet you money on that, that you will only see more of these protests happen, looting happen, and rioting happening for sure hardcore over the next 4 years. It will take 4 years for it to even kind of sort of peter out, if maybe it even does then, because now you have social media. So you and everyone is so quick to whip their phones out. Everyone wants to capture that police officer. Everyone wants to capture that injustice, to be the first one reporting on it, to put it on their Facebook, YouTube, and traveling at the speed of light. So the only kind of sort of saving grace is that people are somewhat kind of sort of tired, and cities are becoming a little bit more proactive. Like last night, downtown Chicago, they had all the police. They had the police out, and they had all the major streets blocked off. But even with that, at a certain point, someone's going to say, "Hey, you know what? I don't like the fact that we're getting blocked out. That it's not easy for me to get home, and I don't like that. And I'm going to be the person that's going to cause a riot because I feel like I'm being captive in my downtown condo." So I mean, you just don't.
So at the end of the day, what are you saying? That there is never going to be a time when we can even hope for nonviolence? Is that your point?
It all depends on where you're living. I mean, you can move to Iceland tomorrow. I mean, there's areas in
I'm talking about
Amsterdam,
here where I do live.
But
saying that we can never hope to live in a nonviolent America.
No, America is one of the most violent countries. I mean, we're a warmonger state. We have the ability to do this because we have the biggest military. We have the most police force of anywhere. We have guns. We have all kind of things because we base our things on military. Now, as long as you have military, as long as you have weapons of mass destruction and everything else that people are going to, and we're a capitalist country. Our world is based on money. I mean, that's like saying, all right, is anyone going to find one day say, I don't need a pair of $500 Yeezys? Right? Is someone going to say, I don't need...
My hope is that we one day be as peaceful as Iceland.
It won't, but it's not. But that's unrealistic to say because it's not even the fabric. It's not what we were built on. We were built on good old-fashioned slave labor, free labor. Right,
and change can come. We can put that out there.
It will come. I'm just saying that. Just thinking on a karmatic level.
You're so gung-ho on all of the negatives.
I'm a realist when it comes to that, and I'm one of the most outrageously optimistic people you'll ever meet. But I'm saying It's
Well, I
just,
can't tell.
it's just super math. It's super, same way, Tammy, you said when I argued with you saying that the west side of Chicago was going to change in a time frame, and I was wrong. I admit that I was wrong. I'm saying now, I'm saying, right, and I'm saying I'm agreeing with you that I'm agreeing with you that no, the west side of Chicago, which is still devastated from the 1968 King riots. Now with on top, I mean, we haven't recovered from the 1968 King riots, and it's 2020.
Well, we've gotten better though from that point.
Not on the west side of Chicago. It literally looks worse than when I was growing up. Like when you thought it couldn't look any worse, it literally looks worse. We have less. There's less from the 80s each year. I can even talk about from the time I moved back here from 2015 till now. I've watched it completely disintegrate even more. I can't even point out something positive that's even happening over there. That everything, it literally looks worse. So it's not like all suddenly after all this is gonna all of a sudden get a spike and people can say, hey, I'm about to go drop $2 billion on the west side of Chicago and rebuild it. That's not going to happen. It's gonna take the urban cities across America. Very few are going to make it out of 2020 standing. You've already said stats on that. You got 832 businesses closing every day across the country. So, I mean, I hope that is not going to be the case. But right now, all my predictions regarding this, I was saying this back in 2016 that 2020 was going to be extremely bumpy road. Now, could I have predicted a pandemic and a global racial war? No, but that was just based upon what I was saying earlier of seeing. And I'm biased too, because Tammy, you're in the nursing industry. Chinelle, you're in the education industry. I'm from the music industry. Our entire industry collapsed in 2001. Like, poof, gone, right? Imagine, and Tammy, you're not in the business you're in is never going anywhere. Chinelle, the business you're in was never. I've watched the entire industry completely collapse. Then I saw it again in 2008. I watched, not my business, but I saw how the real estate industry completely collapse. Now you have in 2020, it's happening again, but it's worse. It's on a whole another level that is, no, it's definitely it's going to be fun and interesting to see where we're at with that. But I think that we're going to have to, and I very seldom say think, but I don't know. Obviously, I'd be the richest person in the world, the wealthiest person in the world if I had a crystal ball. But my crystal ball prediction says that it's highly unlikely that we're not even at the plateau. We're not even at the little peak of the social unrest that's going to happen before people actually get tired.
Let's hope not.
Chinelle, I mean, it's kind of naive of you to say I hope not, because you don't even watch TV. you still, and I respect that, and I don't, because you've never even seen what happened with the George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I get that. It's like people that,
and you always bash me for not watching that video. I don't want to.
No, I'm saying it's like people. It's like
to understand what's going on,
and I get it.
I won't watch the 7 shots either. I don't.
Oh, I'm saying that.
I don't think it's anything wrong.
That's a luxury that I'm glad you have. I mean, it's like as being the father of 2 black boys. You mean it's like you have to unfortunately be aware of this. You can't be walking around with like, oh yeah, things are freaking all good and great. Like you have to have real conversations. Like this is what you have to do if you're confronted with the police. That is a real skill set. I can talk for myself. I mean, I Toriano Sanzoni, college educated, get stopped at least 4 to 5 times per year. And that
doesn't mean that you don't equip your kids with what's going on. I just don't feel like I have to watch the video to understand that. I mean, it was wrongfully done. All of that was wrong. The whole situation is wrong. I just don't want to see it.
I'm saying that's a luxury. I'm glad you live in that space. What I'm
It's
saying
not
is
a
that
luxury, it's a choice.
no, it's a luxury choice. I'm saying is that
It's a choice.
I'm saying it's a
luxury because I can definitely Google and look at and sit and watch it.
I'm saying it's part of
We're not forced to watch it. I was aware and conscious of what happened.
It's part of the problem with America as a whole because it's like this.
So everybody should have watched the video?
Absolutely, 100%.
You said everybody should watch the video?
Absolutely, 100%.
And why is that?
It's part of American education, so you can understand the level of violence that I mean, it's the same way, and it's like this. It's like this. It's like this. Certain it's like this. Certain people.
Tammy, we've been having this argument.
It's like
Tammy, we've been going back and forth. I just agreed to disagree. Like we've been going back and forth with this.
And that's
I haven't watched the video.
No, I mean that's a great place to be able to be inside of a la la land and not do that.
It's not even about being in la la land. I don't like the news because there's always bad news. I don't like the conversation because
I'm saying
I just control my energy.
That's super easy to say, right? When you're not in it, I get it. I'm saying I'm in it. I step outside.
We're all in it.
No, we're not all in it. You know, we're not all in it. We're not all in it. There's people that are completely oblivious because of where they live. It depends on what your zip code is. There's some people. You come over here to North Lawndale, you're in it. Come over here to Little Italy, you're in it. Right? Those, and I can only speak upon the two areas that I'm in. Chicago.
I work over there. What do you mean? Like we're all in it. We all. I mean,
you work over where?
That I'm in a different zip code.
You work over where?
Just because you're in a different zip code doesn't mean that you're not affected by what's going on.
You work over where? Where do you work?
I work on Garfield Park, Alray High School.
You're not working there now. I'm talking about right now.
Mandatory, I know.
Yes.
Like, what difference does it make? You just going back and forth.
No. This the difference that it makes is that you can come over here. You can come over. Well, one, you got COVID.
But of course, you moved though, right? You moved locations. It doesn't matter. You're still where you're from, and it doesn't mean that I have to reside in a location to understand what's going on.
Yes, you do. 100%.
Okay.
Wait, what do you mean you have to reside in a location to understand?
100%. I'm saying that it's easy.
So let me find a place in North. Let me start looking for a place in North Lawndale so I can understand exactly what's going on.
You don't have to. You don't
but I understand what's going on.
Well, Tam, you're in Bellwood, and Bellwood is not a bowl of cherries. So there's enough.
Bellwood is what?
I said you're in Bellwood, and Bellwood's not a bowl of cherries. There's enough going on out there. Here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom.
All right, we need to move on to a different topic because we're gonna all just have to agree to disagree with whatever conversation is going on right now.
What about the farmers market?
Here's the bottom line. Right now, what is happening is that goes to everyone. It's better to be prepared and nothing happens because I don't want anything to happen to anyone at all. But don't be naive to think that it can't be.
No one's not naive. No one.
No, a lot of people are naive. Don't be naive to think that this cannot be in your backyard or someone knocking on your door or something going down your street.
All of that. For sure.
I love you all. You're all a great co-host, as always. This was a great show of Toriano versus Toriano, and then Tammy Yammy and Chinelle chiming in. I just want to tell everyone, and I want to send energy out to that family in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I unfortunately have to drive through Wisconsin on Friday. So I'm wishing that there's peace, even though they have to call in the National Guard, and that people that are out there that are listening, do your part by talking to someone, whoever your neighbors, and having these tough conversations so that, because that's the last thing that we need to go into this weekend with George Floyd 2.0, because that did happen in Minneapolis where he was murdered on Monday, Tuesday it bubbled, and then but by Friday across the country, you had a complete global racial riots. But as part of the reason, because people don't want to talk and have these tough conversations before it gets to that point. So, Toriano saying, Zoni, you guys have any closing thoughts you want to add in? Tammy,
Now,
Chinelle, you know?
Peace and love and blessings. You just drowned us out with the music. I can't even hear. Peace, love, and blessings. It's okay to agree to disagree. Everyone has their own opinion, and that's what makes us all unique.
Well, and that's what we're dealing, and that's what we're dealing with too, because we're having this digitally over a platform. These conversations are being had face to face, and they are resulting into violence because people can't have these conversations. These are conversations that are long overdue. So that's the other issue, is that everyone's civic duty, I would say, if you want to make this world a better place and you want to maybe stop these things, call up and talk to your brother, your mother, your sister, your friend, your neighbor, or go out and have a little group of 5-6 people, or start, do a Facebook Live, and put yourself out there and state your opinions, because that's the only way we're going to get through this. Silence this time around is not the answer, and that's the silence is only going to propagate and push the violence, and it's not until everyone's voice is heard. Because I believe
peace and love over war.
Absolutely, but
Rika said it.
And
always choose peace over war.
And Chinelle, I would encourage you, because that's how you really stand by that. You know what I mean? Use your social media and use your voice to push that out there. You know what I mean? That's the only way we're going to get through this. Silence is not going to help us. If people are going to have to stand up and speak up, because the life you save might be your own. Amen. Hallelujah. All right.
Okay, well, everyone have a wonderful
peace and love. I'm Toriano Sanzoni, the Wolfkeeper. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for Tammy. Thank you for Rejoice. Thank you for love, for making this. We're on episode 55. We got some hot guests. September 1st on is completely book, and it's going to be super duper phenomenal. I love you all. There's only one alpha dog, and that's you. So be true. Love hard. Heart.